Hey, it's Miss Barlow here. Today our video is solving problems involving the additive inverse. It is important that you take notes during this video so that you will be able to have documentation that you did your homework and ready for the class activity. How to solve problems involving the additive inverse. This comes from Standard 7 NS1A and Standard 7 NS1B. You do not need to write these down. You don't need to write the standards down. These, however, are very important. Our learning target and essential question. Learning target is I can use the additive inverse to get to 0 as the sum. Essential question, why do additive inverses always equal 0? Our vocabulary, we have 3 words that are very important. Integers. Integers are positive whole numbers, negative whole numbers, and 0. Once again, there are positive whole numbers, negative whole numbers, and 0. Absolute value is the distance between an integer and 0. The distance between an integer and 0, we talked in class yesterday that the absolute value is always what? Absolutely positive. So that's something that we need to always remember is the absolute value is absolutely positive. And then we always have these bars there that represent absolute value. So if we have a 3 here, we know they are simply asking us for the absolute value of 3. Additive inverse, a number that you add to a given number to get 0 as your sum. A number that you add to get a given number to get 0 as your sum. And the additive inverse is the opposite of a number. So we will talk about that more in this video. All right. Example 1 says use the additive inverse to solve 7 plus negative 7. 7 plus negative 7. All right, we have 7 plus negative 7. We know that negative 7 is the additive inverse of 7 because they are opposites. One of them is positive and the other is negative, okay? So because this is addition of a negative number, we can drop the plus sign and just put 7 minus 7, which would give us 0. So the additive inverse is always a number and its opposite. And whenever you have a number such as 7, and its opposite, negative 7, when you have them together with the plus sign, it's always going to cancel each other out and equal 0. For example, if we have 7 pluses, and then we turn around and we have 7 minuses, these can cancel each other out, leaving us with nothing because everything canceled one another out, and our answer is 0. Example 2, find the additive inverse of negative y. We've already stated that the additive inverse is the opposite of whatever we have. And even though we don't have a number, we have a variable, we know that it's a negative y. And the opposite of a negative y is going to be what? Positive y. You're absolutely right. So the answer to this problem, the additive inverse of a negative y, is going to be y. Our next example, example 3, says solve for x in the problem -6 plus x equals 0. Negative 6 plus x equals 0. And here we know that additive inverse, if we plug in the additive inverse, which is the opposite of negative 6, we know it will add up to equal 0. So if we put 6 negative signs here, what do we need to put below it in order for all of them to cancel out? You're right. In order for them to cancel out, they must have a pair. Okay? And if we pair them up, they all cancel. So here we had the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the negative 6. What did we add to the negative 6 so that everything cancels out and makes 0? Positive 6. That's what those plus signs are for. We added 6 to it. So x is equal to 6. That is your answer. The additive inverse of negative 6 is 6. And when we add the additive inverse together, we get 0. Remember, you can stop this video at any point to take notes. All right, homework problems. Write the questions and you're going to turn these in tomorrow into class, okay? I'm going to start off helping you with maybe 1 or 2, and you will also, write those down just as you did it, but I want to guide you and make sure that you are ready for the homework. Okay, so number 1 says use the additive inverse. The additive inverse. We talked about the additive inverse is the opposite that you add to a number in order to get to 0. I like to think of additive inverse as reverse. Inverse, it reminds me of the word reverse. Okay, and we know reverse is just doing the opposite. So x plus 7 is equal to 0. We have to find out what x is. That's what we want to know. We want to solve for x. Well, we know that this is a positive 7. So what is the additive inverse? What will be the opposite of positive 7? You're absolutely right. It's negative 7. X is equal to negative 7. Because if we plug in negative 7 plus 7, we should get 0. See, it's not that hard. All right, solve for the value of x using the additive inverse. Number 2. Now here, it's a little different. We have a number, and we are looking for x. Here, this is not a plus 9. In the previous problem, we had plus 7. Here we have a minus 9. So the opposite of a minus 9, or the additive inverse of a negative 9, is going to be what, class? Absolutely, positive 9. And if you think about it, we know that 9 minus 9 equals 0. So x is going to be 9. And you all, I feel confident that you're able to complete 3, 4, and 5. So let's get these homework problems done and get them turned into class in the morning. If you have any questions, let me know and I will be more than willing to help you. All right. Happy studying. See you later.